I still remember that night as if it happened yesterday. The smell of antiseptic that clung to the walls, the low hum of machines whispering in rhythm with life itself, and the silence between the beeps that felt like a countdown to goodbye. The air was heavy with fear and resignation. Every face in that room had already accepted what the charts and scans had declared. There was no hope left. Her name was Rachel, a 39-year-old mother of two, a woman whose laughter once filled rooms now silenced by disease. Stage 4 cancer. The doctors had done everything in their power: chemo, radiation, surgeries, experimental treatments. Nothing worked. Her body was tired, fragile, a battlefield of pain, her spirit barely flickering. When I first met her, she was more shadow than substance. Her hair long gone, her skin pale as paper, her eyes sunken, yet still shimmering with something. A spark that refused to die, a fragile flame of faith she wouldn't let the darkness steal. But that night, the doctor said it was over. I heard one whisper, "Prepare the family." Just like that, the room turned cold. The hope that had been fighting to stay afloat finally sank beneath the weight of what seemed inevitable. Her husband, Daniel, sat by her bedside, gripping her frail hand as tears streamed down his cheeks. "God, please," he whispered, voice trembling. "If you're still here, please don't take her." His prayer echoed in the stillness, unanswered. The room was filled with the quiet despair that settles when humanity reaches its limits, when medicine, science, and strength all fall silent. And yet, even there, in the valley of shadows, God was not done. He was about to speak in a way none of us would ever forget. Before I continue, if your heart is already moved by what you're hearing, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. We share real testimonies of faith, healing, and the miraculous power of Jesus Christ that defy human explanation. And if you'd like to help keep this mission alive, please consider a small PayPal donation. Every bit helps us bring more hope to those who've lost theirs. Now, back to that night. Rachel's breathing began to slow, her chest rising and falling in faint rhythm. The monitors warned us of what we already feared. Daniel gripped her hand tighter, whispering through tears, "Don't go, please, don't go." Then the line went flat. A single, piercing tone filled the room. The nurses rushed in. "Code blue!" Chaos exploded. Chest compressions, adrenaline shots, defibrillator shocks. "Clear." Nothing. Again. Nothing. Minutes passed, each one heavier than the last. Then silence. The lead doctor stepped back, his voice hollow. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "She's gone." Daniel fell to his knees beside her bed, crying out, "God, please don't take her from me." The lights flickered. Rain began to slam against the windows, thunder rolling through the night. And then, something happened. I swear to you, I saw it. The air changed. A warmth filled the room, wrapping around us like invisible light. It was as if peace itself had entered the room, not the kind found in comfort, but the kind that carries the weight of heaven. The unplugged machines began to beep faintly again. Rachel's fingers twitched. Her chest lifted once, then again. The nurses gasped. "Doctor, she's breathing!" The doctor froze, his eyes wide. "That's impossible," he muttered, rushing to the bed. But Rachel's eyes opened, calm, alive, filled with light. And in the softest, most peaceful voice, she said, "Jesus said, watch this." Everything stopped. The room that had just held death was now trembling with life. Rachel looked around, tears rolling down her face, color returning to her cheeks. "I saw him," she whispered. "He told me it wasn't my time. He touched my hand and said, 'Go back. Tell them I still heal.'" Daniel collapsed into her arms, sobbing uncontrollably. The doctor who had declared her gone stood speechless, his hands shaking. "Her vitals are normal," he said, barely breathing the words. "This isn't medically possible." Tests ran all night. By dawn, the scans that once showed tumors the size of fists came back clean. No trace, no shadow, no explanation. Stage 4 cancer, completely gone. That hospital turned into a sanctuary that day. Doctors who had long lost their faith found themselves praying in hallways. Nurses wept openly. And Rachel, She walked out of that hospital 2 days later. No tubes, no oxygen, no pain. Just joy. Her steps steady, her smile radiant. She told everyone who would listen about what she saw. The light, the warmth, the voice of Jesus calling her back. Every time someone doubted, she'd smile and say, "I know what I saw. I know who touched me. I still visit that hospital sometimes. And every time I pass room 417, the room where she came back to life, I stop and pray. Because I'll never forget the look on her face when she said those words. Jesus said, 'Watch this.' I think about how close she was to the end, how faith seemed like a whisper buried under machines and fear. But even in the valley of death, God was there, waiting to show his power, ready to rewrite her story with his own hand. Maybe you're in that valley right now. Maybe the doctor's given up. Maybe you're the one praying that desperate prayer Daniel prayed. Listen to me. Don't give up. The same God who raised Rachel from that hospital bed still moves, still heals, still breathes life into the places we've already buried. If this story touched your heart, don't leave without subscribing. These are not just stories. They're proof that miracles still happen. And if you'd like to help us continue sharing them, your PayPal donation, no matter how small, helps us reach more souls who need hope. Every story shared is another life touched. Before you go, take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Whisper this. Jesus, I believe. Because that's where every miracle begins. Not with science, not with logic, but with faith. Rachel is alive today. She travels the world telling her story, reminding everyone of that moment when heaven broke into room 417 and turned death into testimony. So let me ask you, do you believe in miracles? Share your story of faith in the comments below. Let's fill this space with hope, with prayer, with proof that our God still does the impossible. Because when Jesus says, "Watch this," even death has to step aside.